The next exponent multiplication rule we're going to learn is called a power of a power rule. And it's called that because, as you can see from this example, we're taking something that has a power and then raising it to another power. So this is 3 squared to the fourth power. So what does it mean when we raise something to the fourth power? Raising something to the fourth power means multiply it by itself 4 times. So what are we multiplying by itself 4 times? 3 squared. This is 3 squared times itself 4 times. So this equals 3 squared times 3 squared times 3 squared times 3 squared. That's what it means when you raise something to the fourth power. Now that we've written it out the long way like this, it looks a whole lot like the product of a power rule that we just learned. All 4 of these have the same base, 3, which means we can just add the exponents. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. So the answer here is going to be 3 to the power of 8. Great, okay. It works exactly the same way with a variable. If I did, let's say r to the 5th power to the 3rd power, we're raising r to the 5th to the 3rd power, which means do r to the 5th times itself 3 times. So r to the 5th times r to the 5th times r to the 5th. Okay, these all have the same base, which is r. So we can add the exponents. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. So my answer is going to be r to the 15th power. Great. Okay. What if I wanted to do, let's say, x squared to the 291st power? Okay. So that means x squared times itself 291 times. So I do x squared times 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 x squared. And of course, I'm not going to do this 291 times, but hopefully you can see the pattern. When we had powers of 2 and 4, our answer had a power of 8. When we had powers of 5 and 3, our answer had a power of 15. So what's the shortcut? What's the rule for power of a power? We multiply the exponents. And so I believe the generally accepted math formula looks like this. If you have one base raised to 2 powers, you multiply the powers together. Looks pretty good. So the difference between this and product of powers is that in product of powers, we were multiplying 2 different terms together. Here we just have one term, but the term has a double exponent. So we're taking one base with 2 exponents here. So let's go ahead and try one. Let's do 2 to the 3rd power to the 2nd power. And you know what? That seems too easy. Let's get crazy. Let's give it a 3rd exponent. We're going to get wild here. So this is 2 to the 3rd squared to the 4th. So we've got one base with 3 exponents on it. But it's okay. It doesn't matter how many exponents it has. The rule is still the same. We're going to multiply the exponents. So we're going to do 2 times 4 times 3 for the exponents. So this is going to be 2 to the power of whatever 2 times 4 times 3 is. And 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. So I feel like 2 to the power of 24 is a pretty good answer for this one. And that's all there is to this rule here. It's a pretty ugly 4. Let me fix that. That's all there is to this rule here. This is power of a power. You take one base with multiple exponents, and the way you simplify it or put it together is you just multiply all of the exponents together. Pretty simple.